Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another great day of learning. Today is day 25 in building the flight booking engine. And yesterday, I'll admit, I was a little bit tired after a long day on a Monday. It was crazy how my mind was so crowded and I got tired and I even stopped thinking straight. That's what happens when you're tired. Okay, the brain doesn't mind. When you're tired and you have to rest or have to sleep, it will always happen. One time we were driving and a friend slept while driving. So it happens. Um, so yesterday you saw that we're trying to send a request. Okay, maybe I can show you this. Okay, but we kept getting an error. Okay, let me clear this. You see, we get this error. Okay, a 500 internal server error. And if you go to the backend, to the logs in the backend, you see that we have a client error, okay? A 400 bad request, meaning the data we are sending to the backend was wrong, okay? So that was the first issue that we had, okay? Then also another issue that we had was the CORS issue, okay? But I fixed that using the CORS middleware, okay? And you see me here, I was allowing all origins. But ideally, we shouldn't be allowing all origins, okay? So maybe we shall get to this. What I want to do right now is to make sure that this 400 byte request is resolved, okay? So if I go to this flights.py, okay, right here, maybe instead of just things failing, we need the client here, okay, to know that the information they sent was invalid. That is what I want to do, okay? So I'll simply come here and wrap this with a try catch. I'll say try, then down here I'll say except, okay? Okay, AI is suggesting this, but I'm going to remove this, okay? So I need to indent this like so. Then what I'm going to do next, so like we did down here, okay? We need to raise an HTTP exception, but this time instead of just exception, of course I can allow this, I can leave this, I can just have this, okay, the same way. In case maybe there's an error that we cannot handle, I'll say except exception, okay? Then say raise, this will be a 500, okay? And the detail will be a simple string, okay? Just like we did down here. And I'll say an error occurred while searching for flights. So yeah, what AI is suggesting is okay. I'll accept that, okay? But then I need another except here, okay? I'll say except, but this error is going to be different, okay? For now, I'll just say exception. I'm going to change it, and then you're going to see in a minute. Then here I'll say raise an HTTP exception, okay? But this time I'll be, okay, looks like AI was guessed right, but this invalid request parameters, okay, is okay. But what I want to do, this should not be just exception, but it should be an Amadeus exception. So I'll say from, I need to import it. I'll say from Amadeus dot client dot errors. Okay, need to import the client error. Of course, these are implements I'm going to be doing from time to time. Okay, because I even know that there are better ways of handling this. Okay, the better ways of handling this whole thing altogether of exceptions and whatever, and we shall see how to make and refactor this project. So here I'll say what we need to accept is the client error. Okay, so client error means the client sent invalid information. Okay, maybe the request the request body mean the request parameters has an issue, or it can be the request body having an issue. It can be a path parameter, it can be a query parameter, okay, or a form, etc, whatever it is, okay. But the goal is to at least tell the client that you sent us something wrong instead of things just failing, okay. Now I'm going to test this once again. Come back here, hit send. So I think this time we have something better, okay? Instead of just returning a 500 for no reason, okay? I'll hit search again. I think this, we get a better message. It says detail, invalid, request parameters. This is better and professional, okay? And we should do this for ideally everything that we are working on, okay? I don't know what you think, but this is way better than things just failing and the client has no idea what is actually wrong, okay? But saying invalid request parameters is a very, very good thing. So that at least the client knows that they need to change or look up the documentation of the API endpoint to know the correct parameters to pass. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Maybe even I need to commit this, okay? Can just come here and cancel this for now. Clear, say git status. Oh wow, this thing is actually going to try to deploy to AWS. If you remember the setup that we did, but I'll see how to handle it. Or rather, actually, I can leave the server running, then open up a new terminal here, and then clear my screen. Maybe quickly deactivate the conda, deactivate ls. Okay, that's okay. Git status. That's okay. So I wanted to commit particular files. Okay, so I want to add this and push it. Not push it, but just stage it for now. I say git add and say git commit -m fix catch catch. I can say maybe show appropriate error message when client sends invalid data in the request. So I think this is better. Okay. So Raf was trying to reject me. I'll try to add that file and commit again. So yeah, that has passed. So now I can get back here, maybe test it one more time, just to show that all is okay. If I search for flights again, you see invalid request parameters. Okay, that's the first thing we have resolved, having a better message for the client. So this is clear that what we are sending in this form is actually invalid. So now let's talk about fixing that. To fix that, I'm going to make changes, okay? Here, okay? So the issue is with this. If you go to I shouldn't have closed that file. If I go to routers, flights.py, and I show the flight request, this object here, okay? This class, what is expected? This expects an origin location code, a destination location code. It expects the departure date, adults, max, so an integer, return date, children, infants, travel class, the airline codes, exclude the airline codes, non-stop, okay, currency code, and max price. One thing to note is that some of these values are optional, okay? Like all these from return date to max price are optional. Why? Because of this annotation, okay? And having none as a default value. Some have default values like adults, okay? Max, okay, has 5. Currency code is by default a USD. So when I come here, okay, in not here, but here in the form, okay, that is making the request. All this is supposed to conform to this, okay? So what I'm going to do is come here instead of actually doing URL search params, okay? I don't know why again AI did this. That is why again and again I'm trying to run away from vibe coding. It's very big misleading in if you think about it, okay, in a way. What I'm going to do is to remove this, okay? Remove this and then remove all this, okay? Then I redefine them, okay? I'll come here and I say const, okay? I say query params. In fact, I can just change. Just say params instead of query params. Say params. Either way to see the same thing. Or maybe query params is a better word. But okay, let me go with params. I say params is going to be equals to an object, okay? But this object is going to be I'm going to use a TypeScript utility called a record. Okay, so a record in TypeScript helps us developers to define objects whereby all keys are of a specific type and also all values are of another specific type. Okay, so to define this record type, I simply have to come here and say, I want to make sure I'm looking at the chat. Okay, I put a full colon, okay, then I say record, okay, record, then I put these angle brackets, then I'll say string, okay, meaning that every key must be of a type string and every value must be of a type string. If I go back to the search, okay, you see that we can work with that, okay. Let me just have it for now, okay, that. Now inside here, I need to specify the values, okay, and you can see AI is trying to suggest that, okay. So the origin location code, okay, according to this, okay, origin location code. So you can even copy, okay, I copy this. I see the origin location code, full colon, the value will be the form, okay, the form data dot origin location code, like that, okay. So everything is coming from this. So you see that this form has everything here, okay. So this is what we're going to be sending, okay. So I'll build it slowly. So we have to start actually with what is required, okay. So what is required are these ones, okay. So we need, next up we need the destination location code. What's happening? Okay, looks like AI wants to suggest. I'll hit that. So we have the destination location code, which is form.destination code, departure date, which is form.departure date, okay. Then also adults, we can change it because if you go to the UI, where is it? You see here we have adults, okay. So I can come here and I say adults, okay. I can say form dot adults dot to string, okay. I'm even starting to think we even don't need to send it as a string, but let's see, okay. Let's continue. What else do we need to do? I need to change to add data, like for example, max, okay. Max by default, of course, is already 5. But let me just put it for context, okay. Max, say 5, okay. But why would they hard code it? Okay, because just see here. Actually, we don't have a field for max right here. So probably I would, didn't need to include it, okay? I can remove this. It's not coming from the form. Then we have the currency code, okay? The currency code, which will be form dot currency. Now, this one by default is the USD, okay? I wouldn't want to change it, okay? But for now, let us leave them. In fact, let me even put marks. But at the end, I'm going to remove them. Let me just put them to show you, okay? That now we have at least all these ones, okay? Adults and marks, okay? I have to put here a comma. All right, so I think we're done. Let me see, is there anything else? I think we're done with this object, okay? Then now we can now start making updates, okay? Smart updates. And to make sure I don't get that bad request again, I want to remove all these, okay? Let me just remove all this and redo from scratch, okay? So I'll come in and say, if, okay, a new statement, if the form dot return date, okay? So if you choose the return date, okay, and also a person has chosen the trip and it, so you if you choose the return date and your trip type is equals to round trip, okay? So what does this mean? If you have a return date, okay, and you have a round trip, it means I can add the return date to this, okay? Otherwise, there's no need to put the return date to this if you're not doing a round trip. So you must have selected this checkbox, okay? This checkbox here, round trip, should have been selected, okay? So if you see, if I select one way, you see this return is disabled. If I say round, it is enabled. So to include the return date, you must have you must have selected round trip, okay, and not one way. So let's see this, okay? So if from the return date and from the trip type equals to round trip, when this condition is meant, that we have a return date, but not only the return date, we also have your trip type as the round trip. That's when I can now say params dot return date return, if you can spell this, AI tools are making me bad typer, okay, from the return date, okay, like that. Then after that, I'll check, okay, that if form, okay, if form dot children, okay, is greater than 0, you know what I want to do? This one I can now add, okay, I can say params the children is equals to form dot children dot to string. Why? Because here I don't want to send values like 0, okay? I don't want 0 to be sent, okay? 0 should not be sent. I want only send solid values, okay? So in case someone, I think where's this value of children? Here, it is 0, okay? It shouldn't, if someone selects 0, it shouldn't be sent to the backend, okay? Because in Amadeus might call it an invalid data, okay? But I want like one and above only to be sent. That is why I'm putting this condition. Where is it? This one here, okay? All right, so what next? What else can we do? Just checking the chat, make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so the next thing I want now to do is to make a check for infants, okay? In a similar way, I'll say if form.ifants, okay? So AI is suggesting correct form if the infants is greater than 0, okay? This tells me that at least you're moving with an infant. Then I can do this, okay? Param.infants equals to form.infants.toString. That's correct. And actually, I was worried about doing the to string, but I won't worry about that because when Pydantic gets that value, okay? Like if, for example, if the form the children is 1 or form that infants is 2, Pydantic will see that value and convert it for us to an integer, okay? If you remember when we were studying FastAPI, it was one of the benefits of Pydantic. So I'm not even worried about that, okay? So I hope you remember that when we're studying FastAPI. So let's go on. What else can we do? If you look at this travel class, so we need to specify the travel class, okay? If you look at this, do we have a class here? Oh, yeah, do we have a travel class here? So we can also add it and we say if, I'll say if form dot travel class, meaning at least you've put a travel class, then we can now also append it, okay? I'll say params dot travel class equals to form dot travel class, and I'll hit tab to accept this suggestion, okay? Now, this can be done better, okay? But let's first have the functionality working, then later I will make updates, okay? Shall now refactor and make the code better. Then what else? Let me see. We have adults, we have children, we have the travel class, we have infants, okay? Maybe even non-stop, okay? Even this thing of non-stop. We can include non-stop because if you look at here, we also have non-stop, which is a Boolean, okay? So I'll say if form.nonstop, okay? I'll say params.nonstop equals to true, okay? So this is something we can pass very well also. And there are things that you can include. I think this that we have like included airline codes, excluded airline codes, okay? Max price. These are things we can add to our form, but for now, for the MVP, I want to keep it simple, okay? When this project gains traction, like I told you, it's something for a startup I'm building, okay? When it gets traction, that is when I will now go ahead to add them, okay? But for now, that's what we have, okay? So yeah, origin location code, destination location code, departure date, adults, max currency code, okay? We have this, checking for the children, the infants, the travel class, and the non-stop. Okay, so here, next up now we need to send the requests, okay? So what am I looking for? So this is actually wrong, okay? This needs to be called params. So if now, and then we need now to build the params, okay? And we can use this suggestion, okay, that they're giving us. Let's say const query params equals to URL search params and pass in the params, okay? Then here come and say URL query params dot to string. And for just to make sure we are looking at, we have the correct URL, I want to say console.log URL, okay? Fetching URL so that we see the URL that is being fetched. So I'll come back here, refresh this page, choose the city code NYC, airport, the two is loan. This is going to be one way, so no return date. Economy, USD, one adult, search. Okay, the departure date is missing. I'll put tomorrow, search. Okay, so do you see this URL? I don't know if I can zoom, and now there we are, okay? Oh my God, first try, and it's working. The difference between having a fresh mind, okay, and a tired mind is this, that you sometimes when you're actually fresh, you take things slowly and it works, okay? So I want to show you this. How can I show you this? Okay, I'll show you the entire URL. Are you seeing how long it is? Okay, and sorry for my power being off. I know you can't see me, but I hope it gets back sooner than later. Okay, so I hope this makes sense to you. All right, let's go on. So next up, I wanted to show you this. So you look at how it has been built. Okay, I can copy this link. Okay, if I get back here to the browser and I paste it, okay, there we are. If I say pretty print, we get the same thing. Okay, so just to show that everything is actually okay. Okay, we get the itineraries. Okay, everything working as expected. Okay, without any challenge. Isn't that awesome? Now imagine what I would be doing right now if yesterday it worked. But that's not a problem, okay? So time to time we keep learning. So if you come here, you can see the objects, okay? One after another. You can see the first object, the first flight offer, okay? Let me zoom in back. Come on. Why can't I scroll? Okay, now I'm not able to reduce it. I was going to get crazy and wonder what is going on. So finally we have some success. Okay, I think that's a good thing. We have about 5 flight offers, like we said. Maybe we can do one more test. Okay, let me try to see if I add non-stop flights and I search. Does it work? So you see we get a bad request, which means add, and you see we get a beta error message. It says invalid request parameters, which means this non-stops flights only. Okay, cause the issues. If I remove it and I hit send, you see we get data back. Okay, and this time it is faster. You see, why is it faster? If you can guess, we have a catch. Okay, we implemented the catch. If I go back to flights.py, we see we have a catch. Say catch.get. So that's why it is faster than the first time when we were getting it without the catch. So if I hit send again, you see, there we are with the catch with our data faster. But if I add non-stop flights, hit send, it is fetching invalid request parameters. So we need to figure out why adding, okay? So if I go to maybe the network tab, okay, and remove this, hit send, okay, you'll see that we have something, okay? I want to show you, how can I make this smaller? Preview, maybe I'm looking for response. Yes, so you see that we have the response here, okay? This is the response we get, the flight offers. But if I add this and then hit send, it fails, okay? And this is the response we get, invalid request parameters. If you look at the payload and we look at the query parameters, we see that we are adding non-stop, okay, to true. And it's what is failing us. So the question I should be asking, is non-stop supposed to be one of the request parameters, okay? Is the value correct? So I'll come here to flight search py and look at, see the non-stop boolean, okay? Say boolean or none. The question should be, what value are we supposed to send? Okay, so because it is Python, I think we should send a capital T, okay, like this. Let me try to do this. True, okay, and I see if it will work, okay. Up here, I want to put a default value for non-stop. Non-stop, I want it to be false, like that. Okay, so let's find out if that resolves the issue. So refresh. Probably I shouldn't have refreshed. Okay, NYC to London, departure date tomorrow. This is a one-way trip, so return is economy still. Okay, search flights. So it works. Okay, this one works. You see we have a response. Okay, but what about if I add non-stops this time? Search again. It still fails. Okay, we get an invalid request. Okay, we are sending an invalid request parameter. That means the change I added was still wrong. So the question is, what if I did this? I say true without putting quotes. Okay. Okay, there's a true to string. Does this method exist on booleans in JavaScript? I hope so. Let's find out. So it's still invalid. Okay. So what about if I say this type here is any? Okay. Then I have the actual boolean being sent. Oh, guys, I think there's an issue. Okay, can you look at this? Okay, params.nonstop equals to this. I think it should be form dot nonstop like this. Okay, dot to string. For now, let me leave it like this. Okay, this is the best way to do it, to pick the value from the form, and this is supposed to be a method like that. So I'll uncheck this, clear this, send. Okay, we get everything working and perfectly fine. If I add and stop flights, we still have an invalid request. Crazy. So what is the correct way to do it? We need to find out from, because actually if you check the string, if I click on this, I want to copy the image, open it in a new tab. Are you seeing this? Non-stop equals to true. So probably this is the wrong, probably this should not be like this. Okay, let us check the Amadeus documentation. So I'll say, actually, I think I had it right here. So we have flight offers search. Adults one. I want to find out what if that non-stop is required. Okay, this is where we are. Get the response is okay. If you look at the curl example, you see that they have things like origin code, destination code, departure date, return date, the number of adults, included airline codes, and max equals to 3. I don't see anything like non-stop here. Probably non-stop is supposed to be part of it. Flight offers search. No. Python SDK. If I come with the example, they don't. But what I want is the whole definition of what's supposed to be sent. Okay. Let me look for Amadeus docs. Okay. So that we see. And as we do that, okay, I also want to experiment something. But wait, how comes if we remove this, all is okay? But what happens if we add a round trip? We say round trip, okay, and I add, say, that date, return date, will it work? I want to clear the console, hit search. It's taking some time, I think, because of not using the cache. For the first time when something is not in the cache, it takes some time. So yeah, for the return date, it works, okay? But I'm using this one way. Okay, so I'm happy to know that the return, if it's a round trip with a return date, it's working very well. That's a good thing. That's a success. Let us find out if we added non-stop flights with the return date, does it work? So yeah, non-stop is still an issue. That's okay. Let us see if I change the class to premium economy, does it work? We're about to find out. There we are. It worked. Okay. If I change the class to first class, send. It works. If I change the class to business, send. Okay. Then the currency to euros, but for now I want to keep it probably in only dollars for the MVP. The currency changes I think will come later. So yeah, changing the currency looks to be working. If I say GBP, okay. If I put the number of children to 2, does it accept? Yeah, so number of children works. If I add the infants to, let us say 3, okay, it's not allowed. If I say 2 infants, if I say 1 infant, okay, I want to clear the console, hit send. So it's taking some time to fetch. Taking some time. There we are. It works. Okay. If I hit send again, this time it will be faster because it is picking from the cache. Again, if you didn't watch that video where we built the caching engine, okay, please make sure you watch it. Okay, check the playlist and watch it. You'll learn a lot. So yeah, this is good enough. But I want to remove this currency. Okay, because for currency I want it to be, for the MVP. I think I want it to remain dollars. I don't know how. I want dollars for now. Okay. Let me just leave it in dollars. So I'll go to my code, the booking form. Why do I have this red squiggly error? So here currency says USD, but I'll remove it from here. Okay. Reduce this. Close this function. Go to the actual form. Close this. Close that. Okay. So this is the currency. Okay. So that is what I want to remove. Maybe instead of removing it, I'll simply comment it out. Okay. For now, comment it out, because I want my MVP to only deal with dollars, okay, from the very start. Then later, if users require it, to be as simple as uncommenting. Why is commenting being hard? I was going to go crazy. Like, have I forgotten how to comment code? Okay, so that is okay. So if I come back to the UI, so you see we don't have currency anymore here. But remember, in the backend, we have a default value. Where is currency? Currency is your currency code, USD. So if I remove this and send, oh, it refreshed. So I have to say NYC, London, okay. And again, later we need to be able to pick cities, okay, search for cities instead of hard coding it. So I come here, I put the departure date, return date, economy, adults, I'll say 4 adults, okay? Children 1, infants 1. So we see it is fetching, says invalid request parameters, okay? So something went wrong. Is it because I removed the currency? Okay, but it's okay. If it's fighting for the currency, here's what I can do. Okay, I can do this. I can say currency USD. Okay, and just leave it like that. But a user is not going to be allowed to populate it. Okay, the state has changed. I'll say NYC London, but I doubt that it was because of that. Maybe I checked. So adults 1, I want to remove non-stop flights. Hit send. So this should work. It's taking some seconds. There we are. Okay, we have the flight offers. But let me try something. Was it because of the currency or because I had forgot to uncheck something? So NYC, London, departure date, return date. In fact, no one should be allowed to pick a date in the past. This should also be fixed soon. Uncheck this and hit send. So invalid request. So we need to, which means currency should actually be passed. Okay. But here, remember here, it is being picked as currency, not currency code. Do you notice that difference? That here we have currency code and here we have currency. Take note of that. So what happens if I come here and I say this is currency instead of code? Okay. Think about these things, guys. Okay. So I come here and hit send again. So invalid request. Okay. I need to investigate this. Sometimes you learn the things the hard way. Okay. I want to look if I have anything like currency named here. There's nothing. It is currency code, guys. Wait. If I do this, okay, and do this, okay, wow, it has refreshed. There's a tool called this fake. I hope it has helped me to feel, but it has put fake information. Okay, look at the years it has put. Let's say sometimes doing manual tests is not good. So NYC to London departure date, that one, return date. Why 1988? What's happening? Oh my god. Refresh the page. That's why you need to put validation. Like, how do you pick a date that far? It's crazy. Okay, look at the pain of having to type all this again and again. Automated tests, this should be one-way trip. Economy, no non-stop search. Okay, this is okay. Now we put back the currency. I just want to prove something. Remove non-stop, send. Oh my god, it had to re-render everything. Okay, I'll make it one way. Hit send. Okay, so we have an invalid request parameter. Okay, so if I come back here, okay, you see I have to put it as currency code. So this is the correct thing. Okay, so yeah, I was just checking out that. If I come back here and hit send, there we are. Okay, happy days, everything is okay. Yeah, so if I add number of children to 2, and there we are, it works. Okay, all right, so If it's round trip, try round trip, okay? Round trip with a return date. Return date there, search. And also I should avoid, I seen these two double results, okay? Whereby when you click once, it should be disabled and you wait for a result. That's what I think I should do, okay? Now, yeah, this I think is now okay. What now I need to do, I hope I've not forgotten anything. What now I need to do is this. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. I need to come here and is it here? Yes, it's here. And then where is that code? Inside this function called handle submit, okay? So I can now remove these logging statements, okay? I don't need them anymore. Okay, maybe now I can use router.push to slash flights, okay? That's one thing I can do. But I'm seeing red squiggly lines. Are you seeing this? I'm wondering where the errors are coming up from. Let me open this. There should be something wrong somewhere. Oh. So look at this, okay? Maybe this is why the non-stop thing was causing us issues. Says the string is not assignable to type, Boolean, or undefined. So it says type string is not assignable to type, Boolean, or undefined. The expected type comes from the property checked, which is declared here on. So let me first go to form.nonstop here, okay, is a string, okay? So here is false, a string, but down here it says we cannot assign a string to a Boolean, okay? So which means here I have to change it to a Boolean, okay, like this. And again, in JavaScript, it is lowercase, okay? Lowercase f, not uppercase. So if I come back, yeah, no more red squiggly line. Maybe that was the issue, okay, with the non-stop thing. Let us find out again. NYC, this is a one-way trip to LON on Thursday. Hit search. What's happening? Have I messed up everything? Looks like I've killed everything, guys. I have successfully. So I'll say one way, okay? One way NYC to London. NYC has to be uppercase. Okay. Where is the button? Looks like the submit button has some issue. Where is submit? Here is it. This is submit. Says two passengers is greater than 9 and infants greater than adults. Okay. So why is it filling? Are you seeing crazy things? You solve one issue only to fall into another. Oh my God. So look at this. So it's not working when there's a bug, okay? The button is now enabled. This is going to be crazy. Okay. Let me see. Control F. I want to look at all occurrences of nonstop. Here, parameters nonstop. Okay. It's okay. Nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. So the question is, why would that disable the button? So disable total passengers greater than or infants greater than adults. So how does that affect the infants? From that infants, passengers. All right. Now here comes the part where the mind gets, what is it called? Tired. Let's find out. Looks like we sorted to London. This is one way. Economy. Okay, so departure date, I'd forgotten. Hit send. Oh, it actually works. It's because I removed the logs. You know what is wrong with me? Oh my god. I am getting tired. I'm expecting to see a log which I had deleted. Isn't that crazy? I removed console.log. So why do I keep? I was wondering what's going on. It had no problem. Okay. Feel free to laugh at me. So I can say that. Okay. So it works. Okay. Run again. You see, it works. Everything being fetched from the cache and it's fast. Non-stops. So it still says invalid request parameters when we add the non-stop. If I remove non-stops, it's okay. Oh yeah. I'll have to figure out, yeah, non-stops later. But this, okay, I'll have a hack. Even here, okay, in the form here, what I can simply do is like something like this. If form.non-stop is equals to something like, okay, false, okay, then question mark false. It's what they call a ternary operator, okay, then full colon. Otherwise, I can simply say true, like that, okay. Then up here, I can change the default value to a string here, to a string, and keep the F capital for the sake of Python, okay, the backend. Then if I come back to the error, you see, it will have been erased. So if form.nonstop is equals to false, okay, we simply, the value of checked will be false. Why false? Because this is the false with a small f and no quotes is what JavaScript knows. And the true with a small t and no quotes is what JavaScript knows. So that can remain like that, okay? So of course, you see they have re-rendered our thing. Okay, now, here's what I want to do, guys. Since this is working, okay, other things shall be figured out later, like design and whatever can be actually improved. What I now want to do is this, okay? Now that I have, and guys, every time I try to do something and you see me, I've forgotten, please let me know. Sometimes I just get tired, okay? I just get tired. Let me stretch. You let me know so that you don't leave me hanging. I may seem like a genius, but I'm not, okay? I don't, actually, I'm not. I know little, and I'm just learning right here with you. So what I now want to do next is to navigate to another page, okay? When this is confirmed, we go to another page. And actually, we changed stuff. If you look at the past code, if I scroll, it had like, I think, a router.push, okay? I see here router.push. Where is it? Here. But truth be told, I've forgotten how to use it, okay? But before we come here, there's something I want to fix on the back end. Here, this thing where we're saying origins, okay, equals to all. I don't want to allow all origins. Okay. I want to be specific about the origins. So for now, I'm thinking of doing this. Okay. I pick this URL. Okay. And just to show that it's gonna work. Okay. Let me fill in these values. Okay. Let me say NYC to London. And again, we're going to integrate this so that we don't have to type them manually. Add in the date, add in this, okay, and send. So we're getting a bad request. I think it's because of the return date. That's okay. I'll put 11 probably. We still get a bad request. What is wrong? Welcome to the world of computing, where things fail immediately after they've passed. I want to think, is this code correct or wrong? This is the time when I get tired. Is the date correct? Is the year correct? Okay, invalid request parameters. Did they leave out anything? It's crazy, isn't it? Did they leave out anything? Is maybe FastAPI failing to convert? Because sometimes the types we put here, okay, may not be able to be converted by Pydatic. Not actually FastAPI but Pydatic, okay? So that one way, not non-stop. I see now. Now I can't change that. I think because of actually what I did. So comment this out for now. Wow, it had to re-render. And of course, to say anything, you have to log. Okay, there it is. Okay, so yeah, we know the issue. What actually needs to happen is for me to study the Amadeus API and fix it. Okay, but before that, I wanted to talk to you about this. Okay, this. Okay, so you see that this is working. Okay, because I'm saying all. But what if I remove? Okay, if I remove and then send the request, you see, it says the fetch, okay, has been blocked, excuse me, by the CORS policy. Says no access control allow origin is present on the header because the origin of the front end at port 3000 is different from the one on the back end at 8000. So the backend does not know this application running at 30,000 for security reasons. Okay, this is good for security reasons. So what we need to do here, the backend I had said, we're going to say put a string and say asterisk. Okay, like that, a star or asterisk. It means all, but that is not good. I'm supposed to allow some. Okay, so one way I can put the list of domains, for example, I can put like this localhost 3000. Okay, to be specific, and this is the correct way. And if I come back here, okay, cancel this and hit send. Okay, says still has been blocked. Okay, so maybe I need to remove this. I can remove this forward slash. Okay, hit send. There it works. Okay, so the issue was that I had put that forward slash, but now here it is working. See, we get our flight offers immediately from the cache. So now what I need to do, okay, is this has to come from the virtual environment. Now we worked with virtual environments in the past. I think in this file called initdb. Okay, this. Okay, so I can come here and I say from .env import load.env. Okay, then just like we did in database.py, I start by loading the environment variables. Okay, then here, okay, I can say origins. Okay, I'll remove this, I'll cut it, and I have to import something else. I have to import OS. Then I'll say origins equals to OS dot get env, okay, brackets, okay, and I can say cause underscore origins, okay, comma, just like that, okay. But then I have to split them. Then I'll say dot split, okay, where there's a comma. So if you know Python, splitting will make sure that it returns a list, okay. So I'm going to leave them as a string. So I'll go to my .env, okay. So I'll shift from the .env.example like this. Say cause origins equals something like this. Localhost, HTTP localhost is an example. If I had another one, maybe I wanted to allow Amazon.com, okay. I would say Amazon.com, okay. So do it as you prefer, okay. But for mine, so I'm going to add it to the .env, but I'm going to hide my screen for a moment. So I'll transition. So I have successfully added it. Now, what I need to do, I think this is attribute none type has no attribute split. Okay, that is okay. I can do this. Maybe otherwise, if there's nothing, just allow from all, or just like that. Okay, so that it's just empty. Now let's test it and see if we are successful. There we are. It works. Okay, and this is what I wanted you to see, that the origins should be a value that comes from the environment variable. Okay, and this is the best way to do it. So from the .env, so I've added it to the .env, but I didn't want to share that file, but env.example has the same thing, okay? Add them as comma separated lists, okay? You do allow domains, including their ports. Like mine is simply localhost 3000, but if I host it on Vercel, it means when I host the front end on Vercel, okay, I'll have to add it here, okay? It's a comma and put maybe vercel.com, blah, 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 the subdomain or the actual domain. So yeah, this is how you do it, okay? So this is a good practice. So I'll come here and commit this also. I'll clear, say git status. I'll copy, I'll git add, okay, backend. This is not giving me autocomplete the way I want. So I'll just say git add that backend.example, git add backend main.py, then git commit, okay. I'll say add CORS configuration. Maybe not add, but handle CORS and its configuration. So Raf has reformatted everything. So what I simply need to just simply re-add the same files, then commit again. The same, yeah, Raf has passed. All is now okay. So I can now clear my screen. Cool. Okay, so you see how to handle. If you didn't know, this is how you handle things. Okay. All right. So even the allowed methods, by the way, for now I'll allow all methods and allow all headers, but okay, but you can always configure them also from your virtual environment according to what you want to do. And actually, CORS is one of the things you would set up quickly in a FastAPI application or in a backend project. So I'll close this and get back to the front end. Okay. So in the front end, what we need to do, I'll reduce this. Okay. Let me see how much time do we have. What's this again? I am done with the backend. I'm not touching the backend for now until next time. So yeah, when we're doing the integration, we shall be switching backend, front end like that to, yeah, I think it's even cooler, okay? Because there are modifications and updates we keep doing, like what we did today, okay? Concerning this client error and concerning the cause issue you saw me doing from the, actually I need to take some notes, okay? Because I need to update the cause, the environment variable on GitHub so that when I push, the deployment works. Let me just take some notes. So like, I tell you many times when I'm learning, I write notes. Okay, have my book here and have my pen. So I just want to take notes so that I don't forget. I'll just write it down and say add add cause environment variable to GitHub. So I've taken note of that. Now, next up, what I need to do is to now handle navigation. Okay, and trust me, I forgot navigation in Next.js. Okay, of course, router.push should work. Okay, let me show you. I want to show you something. App flights. Okay, so you see when you say router.push flights this. Okay, we have this page. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, after logging, I want to come here and I say router dot, come on, router dot push. Why is it giving me uppercase router? Okay, so I'll say import router from next router. How do you use the router in Nextjs? Anybody willing to help me? This is not even something to hassle about. The fact that my mind is either tired or I've forgotten. So I'll come here and I say Nextjs router. If you know, don't hesitate to type in the chat, okay? So I'm not a genius, actually. I learned from you. Let me see, router. Job is saying use redirect. Okay, Job, how can I go about it? Thank you, Job. So if I come back here, okay, to this function, again, like I told you, we shall refactor this into a better way. I just want to get it working fast. So how can I use redirect in in uh in Next.js? Okay, can you please confirm that, Job? Otherwise, let me keep searching for what I'm looking for. There's something called, this way you can move between pages using that router object. I don't want to ask AI or to do anything. Redirect slash home. Is there an inbuilt function in Next.js called redirect? Okay. Like redirect from next, is it from next navigation? This correct? So then I say redirect like this. Okay. to slash flights. Is this what you mean, Job? Okay. How does redirect work? Let me hover over it and I want to read about it and I see. Let me hover. They're saying the function allows you to redirect the user to another URL. It can be used in server components, route handlers, and server actions. In a server component, this will insert a meta tag to redirect the user to the target page. In a route handler or server action, it will serve a 303 or a 307 or 303 to the caller. In a server action, wait, does it mean it cannot work in a, because I think up here, I'm saying use client. So it's like a client component. But let's find out, okay? Job, thank you for your input. I really appreciate. Even if you're wrong, we're all learning. Let me try out here, okay? If I say NYC to London, this is a one-way trip, economy, 1 adult, 0 children, 0 infants. Okay, I didn't put the departure date. Where is this form? Hit send. Okay, so we need like status here, okay? When someone clicks, there should be like a loading indicator, okay? There we are. Job, thank you. I appreciate, okay? If, and are you seeing this back button is not enabled, we can't go back there, okay? Maybe that's a good thing. I know what do you guys think? Should we be able to go back to the previous page? So yeah, redirect has worked, okay? But we need status, okay? Let me click on this. We need like when you click redirect, okay? The button is disabled, and then we see that loading stuff, okay? Is what we need. All right, but if you look at what happened, we got a 404, okay? That the page was not found. I don't know if you guys saw that. So we may need to navigate. Thank you, Job. So how do we access flights? Is it flights with a forward slash? Okay. This is a particular flight ID. So this is the page we're redirecting to, okay? We are redirecting to this. It already has a bunch of stuff, which I want to get rid of. I want to comment out all this, okay? This is unnecessary for now. Let me connect and comment this out, okay? I'm seeing an error. Let me do this. Yeah, let me just leave it like that. Okay, undo it. I'm seeing red squiggly lines. What's the issue? Type of error is not known. You see, it's the issue of using AI. It's supposed to be error. Okay? It's supposed to be error. And even message is not there. Okay? Just error like that. Flights.length. Where's flights up here? By default, this should be an array. I think how AI is so fake, guys. This whole vibe coding thing is a waste of time, guys. I'm still wondering how vibe coding. I mostly try to vibe code components, but it's super annoying. Like the amount of small things you have to fix are so many that it takes a lot of time. If I had done this by myself, I would be far by now. So look at this flight.id. Of course, it would have to complete that ID does not exist on type never, okay? Because the types are not known. Okay. Crazy. For now, how will I this map gives two values. Maybe for now, I'll just do this. In the catch should E error. What do you mean? What do you mean E error? So yeah, I'm already seeing issues with vibe coding. So yeah, with TypeScript we shall specify the types. Okay, we shall specify the types. But for now, let me leave that. I wanted to see if there's any issue. All right, let's now come here and set some loading states. Okay, I'll say const. Okay, is equals to use state. Okay, so by default there's no loading state, so I'll say false. Okay, so I'll say loading. Okay, then set loading. Okay, the actual value and the function to set it, as simple as that. Then if I get back to the button, where is the button? Okay, here. Okay, what we need to do is this. I'll say loading. Okay, we need to do this. If it is loading, okay, I say put a message saying searching. Yeah, I'll take AI's message. Okay, otherwise full colon. Okay, I'll say search flights. So I'll copy this, put there like that. Okay, so when it is searching, need to remove this, reduce that. So when it is searching, as soon as the search starts, where is it? I can do it here. I can say set loading. Come on, what's this? I can say set loading to true. Okay. Job, we talked about should be catch error. Okay, job, I'm going to look at that. Okay. Set loading to true. Okay. Then when all is well and done, I can say set loading to false. Okay. But we need actually a try catch. You get. So again, I don't know how I keep forgetting such small things. Okay. Try catch error. Okay. Like that. Then I can shift this code. Okay. All this code can be shifted up into the try block like that. Then this set loading to false. What I'll do is this. Okay. I'll have a finally block. Okay. I'll say finally set loading false. Okay. Like that. This would work. Then I can have a state to handle the error. Okay. Const error. Okay. I'll take AI's suggestion, set error string or null and null. Okay. This is okay. So here, okay, I can set error. What's happening again? Set error to error dot message. Okay. Error is type unknown. My TypeScript skills are being tested heavily here. This is a sign I should revise TypeScript. Okay. I can leave this for now. I'll fix it later. So set loading to false. So this is fine. Either way, whether things work out, if any error happens, loading should be set to false. Set loading to true. Probably remove this. Set loading to true there. Probably fine. Even here, at the end, you want the error to be set to null. Okay. To clean up. Then job, you're talking about something. You think should be catch error. Oh, yeah. Good. Job, that's correct. Okay. Because this variable name was different. Okay. But now it's saying argument of type unknown is not assignable parameter of set action null. So what I can do is this. You see what happened here? This definition, okay? That it can be a string or null is what I can also do the same thing. Okay, I can say the state, okay? The state will either be a string or a null value. Why is this not accepting? Argument of type unknown is not assignable to a parameter of set action string type generics. Type generics in states. Should I type a generic in the state? What do you mean? All right. Can you imagine? I came here to do something else, but look at where I am. Into a rabbit hole, having to revise TypeScript. Oh my God. For how long will I get myself into revising TypeScript? Okay, we can leave this for now, okay? I'll check the TypeScript docs. If any of you can help, I'll be very happy. So even this, we don't need this for now, okay? Okay, we shall put the key, but let me just comment out this. But of course, you know that the key is required in React, okay, to identify that component properly. So let's see. Let's want to try out something, okay? NYC to London. At least the state should work, okay? One-way trip. Okay, this is what I wanted. Are you seeing this? This searching. This is okay, okay? It's what I wanted. Why isn't our redirect working? I think we're back to search flights. So if I hit again, okay, this thing is too fast that we don't even have that change, okay? But if I change to maybe like adults too, the searching, you see? So I'm going to now get back to here. Wow, coding after a long day. Why do I feel tired already? Let me see the time. It's 10:23 p.m. Job says, oh, you are using state to call the error. You should not do that. Just call the error. Why is that? You know, when you tell me to call something, I assume it's a function I'm calling. Okay. What I want to do is this. Okay. Ideally, look at this job. Okay. Let's go slowly. I have an error. Okay, which can be null or a string, and a function for setting it. So ideally here, okay, when I'm setting the error, I should set not the actual error object, okay, but the message in it. Okay, that's what I want to do. I wish this was Zoom. You would chat about it. Again, I agree. You can correct me. By now, I'm sure after a long day, my mind is crowded. Okay, so the issue we need now to sort out is this: the redirection, which is not happening. So if you can see, searching flights is okay. Okay, if I add maybe a child, see searching, then you'll see data here. So the question is, we just need to resolve that. But for now, I need also to do something. I keep on getting ideas. That button, where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? here I'll say this button can be disabled if the passengers are greater than 9, or the infants are greater than the adults, or when we are loading. Okay, as simple as that. Time to test out things. Let us find out. Clear this. It hasn't picked that difference, has it? Let me refresh. It's a one-way trip from London to NYC. And again, like I told you, we have to stop doing this. And maybe I'll integrate that soon. Economy. Okay, now it has worked. Okay, you see, when it is searching, I want the button to be disabled. Okay, I may be failing, but I have some wins today. It's a great day to code in public. Okay, you see? So again, okay, because it's too fast, we're not able to see the change because it's too fast and it's picking it from the cache in the backend. But if I change this to maybe like 3 adults, the button is disabled. So it's searching. This is now progress. Job, are you still here with me? Can we go ahead to debug? These are things I think I'll this line for price countries. Should I leave the currency? No, let me leave it. Let me just remove it. Okay. Okay, let me just leave it commented out. But non-stop, we shall talk about this soon. Let me focus now on the redirection. Okay, since this is working, at least we can search. Okay, for most of these things. Even when maybe let's say if I do a round trip and add the return date, just check, and then hit search. There we are. Okay, not bad, not bad. So again, if I try to search again, it will be quick. So let's try to do the redirection now, since searching is becoming fun. Sometimes when things are working, you want to play around with it forever. Okay, so redirect. What's up with redirect? Why are you not working? Okay. Next, let me go back to the Nextjs router. It could actually be probably because of how maybe all this is set up. Can a redirection be returned? Guys who know, who are good at this, okay? Remind me. Can you do that kind of stuff, that return redirect? It doesn't actually work. Okay, just a moment. Let me first get what I was looking for. I was looking for something. Wow, Next has changed. What is this use, is it use SWR? I need to revise Next.js. Let me do this. Maybe even the router is not longer there. What am I searching for? Say router dot push. Up router. Maybe even a Google search will be better. Router dot push next.js. Let's find out. Job, are you still here? I need an explanation for what you meant by using the state to call the error. Point me to it. So you see this? It's called the use router. That's what I'm looking for. It says if you want to access the router object inside any function component in your app, you can use the use router hook. Take a look at the following example. Okay. So they import use router from next router. Then they create an instance of router. Okay. This is something, some style. It's just CSS style, margin right of 10, a color based on the router's path, red or black. Then on click, they say handle click. So it says router.push the href. Where is this href coming from? I'm not seeing it. Oh, it is here. Okay. So let's try it out. Okay. This is what I was looking for. So they talk about the router object. Okay. That's what I want so far. Okay. So let me come here and try it out. And where is it? Just copy this. No need to suffer. Let me first remove redirect for now. So import use router. It's what I'm used to. Okay. And again, if you know the difference job between use router and redirect, please let me know. So I'll say router. Come on. Router.push. Okay. Cannot find name router. We need to define it. So here I can say const router equals to use router. Create an instance of the router, and then I can push, okay, including the query params. Come here. We have a bug. Next router was not mounted. Now, what is mounting in Next.js? I've forgotten that too. Okay. What does it mean when something has not been mounted? Let me click this and see. Say next router was not mounted. Why this error occurred? When a component used router outside the Next.js application or was rendered outside the Next.js application. This can happen when doing unit testing on components that use router hook. They're not configured. This can happen when you try to use router hook from next router inside the app directory, as the app router's use router from next navigation has different behavior to the use router hook in pages. Possible way to fix this. Okay, if used in test, this is the test. They say if used in app directory, migrate to the new hooks imported from next navigation. So you see, we have the app. Okay, we have the app router. So we're saying get from next/navigation. Okay. Okay, let's trace this. Let's see if that works. London, NYC, departure, say one-way trip, search. There we are. So the redirection worked. Okay. So what I just need to do is to remove I don't want to pass the query params for now. Okay. I don't want that to happen. Okay. So probably I'm trying to think out loud what to do next. To store this in a state, to store the flight data in a state, okay, in a global state. in something like ZooStand, and then be able to fetch it using ZooStand the other side. Okay. So if you see flights, actually, if I go back, the London, I want to see what happens if I use lowercase city codes. How do you guys autofill these fields when you're testing your front ends? Okay. So you see, I have a question mark. So you see, it's this worked, but we're getting, if I go to this page, okay, into flights, you see we get flight search results. Is this still on? The 404 is coming from this, okay? This endpoint is not known. But when we come this page, okay, I don't want to search for the flights again. Okay, I want to avoid that. Since we have already got the flights here, okay, we should have that data available. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to ZooStand. Okay, I'm going to say ZooStand. ZooStand's, what are they called? State management tools. I'm getting tired, guys. I thought I would finish this today. It's coming to 10 p.m. and I'm still here. So it's npm install ZooStand. Let me start from here. I'm going to try to tell AI to store it in a ZooStand store, and I see how it performs. So I'll cd into front end, npm install ZooStand. Okay. So we have ZooStand installed. Just if I can have that store, okay, then so you can see added one package. If we can add ZooStand, then I'll have peace. You get, okay. Shall have peace and focus on something else next time. So let me open the Copilot chat. Okay, time to cheat. So they say I've reached my monthly limit for Copilot. Upgrade to Copilot Pro. Too bad for me. Isn't it? Too bad for me. So what I need to do is this. Okay, go to the ZooStand documentation and figure out if I can learn ZooStand right now. Okay, so they say first create a store. So to create a store, they have like a hook, the secret, and they have something for putting that their state. Okay, so let's see how to do this. Okay, I'm going to copy their code and come here. Okay, inside here, inside this source. Okay, I'm going to create a directory called store. Okay, this store, maybe I'll call it, for now, let me just call it flights dot tsx js for now. Okay, dot ts, keep it simple. I paste. Okay, so of course they want the type. Okay, let me leave it as js for now. I don't want to fight with types. Okay, so this one I'll call it maybe use flights. Okay, use flights hook, because if you read this, okay, they're saying ZooStand is available as a package manager. We have installed it. Then they're saying create a store. They say your, me zoom in so that you can see this clearly. They're saying your store is a hook. You can put anything in it: primitives, objects, functions. The set function merges state. So I can come here and I say flights. Okay. By default, it will not be an integer. It will be an array like that. Okay. Then I need to remove this, remove all this. Here, what I need to call this, I'll say update up the set flight. Let's say set flights. Set flights like that. Okay. Then to set flight, how now I need to know how do I pass the data? Okay. Using Zustan. Do they have an example? So new, okay. Are you seeing this? I think I'll do this. New bears. I'll use this example. I think this what will work. But this is how I learn things even which I don't know. Okay. This is how I learn things which I'm even not sure about. So instead of update bears, I'll change it to update flights. And again, if you've used Zustand and you know what I'm doing something wrong, don't keep quiet. Let me know. Update flights. I'll say new flights. Okay. Set flights to new flights like that. Okay. Now you're saying the next thing, bind your components, and that's it. They say you can use the hook anywhere without the need of providers. Select your state and consuming your component will render when the state changes. Okay. So they have a function called bear that says use bear. Okay. And yeah, this is what I want. Okay. Then also the controls. Use bear. Okay. State.what blah blah. Wait. What I want to understand, okay, is how they, for example, how would they use update bears? Okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all this. Okay. Let me show you how to be a bad boy. Open Gemini. Oh my God. I pasted. I rushed. Then I'll say given the following, how do I update? If AI does not help me, I'll go back to documentation. How do I update flights in a React function? I don't know if you can see this clearly. Let me update it. I want to see the function. So you see they say update flights. So you have to use flights. Okay, this is easy. I love it. Actually, I should have followed the instructions, but I doubted. Okay. So let me show you what needs to be done. I can simply copy this. Okay, use flights from the store. So I can say export use flights. Come on, why debug value? We first export use flights. After exporting use flights, declaration or statement. Guys, I need to revise. Okay, to revise maybe JavaScript or React. I'm discovering small things. I'm forgetting them. Okay, so export default. Okay, so the other one was called a named import, but the named import is not working. I don't know why. Okay, so but let me go back to the document. Well, how did they do it here? They have no example of importing. It's okay. So when I come to the booking form, okay, I can say import use flights. Okay, it does good for me what I want. So I can now do this. I can now come at the end here. Instead of console.log, okay, we can first log since we are still testing, but I can remove it. There's no need for this. Okay, I say this state Where's the example they give us? This is what I want. Why am I doing this? Because I'm lazy. So you see how I'm combining AI and the documentation to achieve what I want. Update flights, use flights, state is a function, state.update flights. Okay, that's okay. Then what can I do? I can now just call update flights. Okay. I can now come here and say update flights. Okay. Then I pass the data. Now, why is it saying data? I don't have data anywhere. Okay. Now, since we have this data, okay, we have this data in the store, okay, assuming the store is going to work. Fingers crossed on that. We go to this page, okay, which is going to list flights, okay. So instead of doing fetches from using this use effect hook, I don't need it anymore, okay. Remove it, okay, it is useless. So what I need in this URL search parameter is useless. I don't need it. This one is useless. I don't need use effect anymore. Okay. So to fetch the flights, let's see. How do you do it in Zustand? And this is the same way. Okay. So I'll come here and I say import, not implements, but import use flights from our store flights. Okay. Then I can say, instead of bears, okay, I'll say flights equals to use flights. Okay. Then I'll pick the state to be state.flights. Okay. Not state.bears, but state.flights. Why? Because we have in the state we have flights here. Okay. Now I'm getting it. So here inside this side we say the state.update flights is because we've wanted this one. Okay. That's why we picked this state.update flights referred to this method here. Then here we are saying state.flights is referring to this property here, which is a list or an array. So because of that, now we don't need this. Okay, we're getting these errors because of duplication. We don't need this one. We use state. I can remove it. Loading error. Do we need them now? Probably, but not now. Okay, so I'll remove. I just want to have what I need. Okay, so even these ones will not be needed for now. Okay, so loading. We don't need this loading anymore. Okay. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere, guys. What I now need to do is this flight. Why is this giving us an error? Says flight has implicit type any. Okay, let's leave that for now and go back and test out. Let's see if the store works. Okay. I'm gonna say console.log. Okay, flights in store. So I can go back, maybe refresh the whole thing. Say London to New York. It's a one-way trip. Departure. Search. Okay, searching flights. Says we have a bad request. What's the bad request? The date. Yeah, actually this is something I need to disable. Oh my god, there's a lot to do. Okay, a lot of validation. Why you should not actually allow past dates. And I like the bad requests. Okay, but even then we need to find ways of showing errors. Okay, these kind of errors need to be shown. But the things which we can prevent, like giving us doing things in the past. Okay, past dates should be disabled in the form. Trust me, doing full stack sometimes is a lot of work. That is why when people say, oh, full stack is easy and you want to pay someone little money, I get furious. So we look like things have worked, but the redirection has not worked. Let me do this. Console.log. Update flights. Supposed to take this instead. No. Yeah, data. So the question is, why isn't the router pushing? Do you see that? One way, London, NYC, departure. Something is wrong. Okay, searching. And I'm starting to think our store has an issue. I don't know what you think. Let me see here. The network actually has no issue. Okay, if you look at this, you're going to see response. You see, we get the backend is okay. So yeah, there's something wrong with my gamble of trying to learn Zustand on the fly. We have Zustand gurus here on the call with us. So why is it not reaching this? Okay, is it because of the error here? See, this is something I can. Oh. I'm thinking of doing something. Okay. I'm thinking of, okay, this can remain unknown. There's something I'm trying to think about. Why is it not picking this? That's the first question. Okay. If I call this router earlier, what would happen? If this router is called earlier, then I'm going to know that the issue is Zustand. So you see, we got the things fetching data, okay? That flights in store, but flights in store is supposed to be here. You get. So how come it worked this time? Okay. This part was never reached. I don't know if you noticed that. My question is this supposed to be here? Okay. I need to read more about Zustand. Probably it's supposed to be outside. Okay. Outside the function like this. Then here you simply use it like so. You get. Let's find out. But at least I'm happy today we have had tremendous progress. Very, very solid progress with the integration. Clap for me, guys. Fun fact, over the past month, I've been building a project with a friend, but it's been a pure React project, nothing to do with Next.js. So I'm happy to see this, okay? This gives me hope. So I think flights in store, it has worked. So this actually is supposed to be called, not called, but this definition should be outside the function. That's my gamble, okay? If I'm wrong, please teach me. Remember, we are learning here together. I'll need to learn Zustand properly. I've heard about it in the project which I told you I'm working on with a friend in Ghana. We're building a solution for a client in Ghana. I've used Zustand, but vaguely. Okay, like you've seen me doing it, going to documentation, installing it, just skimming through this and trying to guess. Because when you've done when you've been coding for a long time, you can look at something new. You try to understand very fast what things are going on without having a deep understanding. But I'll need to have a deep understanding. Okay. For example, like if you ask me right now, why does it work when it is here and not here? I may not be able to answer you that question properly. Okay. But because of experience, I was able to inform, maybe this should be outside. Okay, just like we have use router outside here. Okay. Sometimes experience can help you have, can I say, better guesses. But yeah, we're moving. We're moving. We are moving. We've moved. So if you go back to the console, you can remove this, remove that. Flights, search flights, switch flights install. What we need to do is this, okay? Now that it works, we have to remove that, okay? We remove this. Also, so we know that so we set the setting, we set loading to true, we fetch the data, okay? Then we update this our global store, okay? After updating the global store, let me reduce this. We push to the next page. And the next page simply picks that flight information from the store. So here I can now delete this store from here, and the booking form will be improved. What do I want to improve about this booking form? Okay. First of all, this URL, okay, should come from somewhere. Okay. That's for real. It should come from somewhere. One thing I would change, by the way, like this part here is going to be repetitive, this first part. Okay. I'll remove this, okay? Remove it and come up here. So and say const base underscore API underscore URL is equals to something like this. Okay, this is the first step. And I would come here, put curly brackets like that. Okay, with a dollar sign ahead of it. I don't know why they just don't make it only curly brackets. Why you have to put a dollar sign? Anyway, let me not rant. JavaScript guys will kill me. Didn't do that. Okay. This is the first level optimization. Okay. But there were many things we can do to this. We shall do those optimizations later. Then this should come from the .env. Okay. So I can also remove this and say maybe this should come from process.env dot next. Okay. I have to remove this other part. I don't need it for now. Okay. Like this. Okay. Then I can come here. Okay. .env.local. Okay. Then come here and paste this. Okay. Pick this value, pick this one. Okay. So next, but your environment variables have to start with next underscore public, then underscore, then the name. Take note of that. Okay. Next, prefix them with next. Let me do it for you. Let me explain it here. All your environment variables, okay, should start, at least I remember that. Maybe you can clap for me. I remember that. Should start with next underscore public underscore, then the name of maybe like, for example, database, maybe DB, maybe URL like AI is suggesting. That can do, okay? So this one level of optimization I've added, okay? But there's so many things we can do, okay? Because we have so many if statements. We have this can be elsewhere, okay? But let me not get into that right now, okay? Let's keep it simple. We've had good, credible success in this stream. Yeah, yesterday had pain, probably because I'm tired. I was tired, but even now I've been tired. I've been here for almost an hour. But it's crazy. I'm still going on. Maybe because things are working. So on this page, this has, we need to maybe search one more time. Say NYC, London, departure, and search. So there we are. You can see that we have some data in the store. We have a number of flight offers. Okay. So now what we need is to now to display the correct flight offers here. Okay. And structure them well. So if you come to this, you see the flight card, the flight offer card, okay, receives some information. Okay. So we need to be able to format. If I look at this, I'm not sure if it has formatted them properly. Let me close this. Okay. Because if you look at this, yeah, I think it has. Okay. Because I thought the prices were the same, but they look different. But certain things seem the same. Okay, we see 8th October, JFK to this. Total price for all passengers. Let me check this. Okay. So you see this price 206. Okay. If I close this flight offer, this is the first one. Okay, 206.90. Even this one has 206.90. If I open this other one, 219.00, 219.200. Okay, that's correct. Come here. We have 236, 236.90, 236.90. Then the fifth one, we have 236.90. Okay, that's correct. Okay, the only issue I'm seeing is this currency. Okay, the currency symbol is wrong because here we specified only USD. So I need to look for that. I see this price here. This should be a dollar sign. How can I get a dollar sign? USD symbol. We need to put the USD symbol. So I'll copy from Google. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. Then I come here, remove this, paste. Okay. Later we can change it. Okay. If in case users want it to be dynamic. So you see, all of them have now dollar signs. That's the first thing I wanted to do. Looking good so far. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Close that. Okay, so this is what we have for now for the flights. Of course, we can do better. We need these things to be can I call it like shown better, but I want to test this out. Okay, if I go back this side and I say NYC to London, departure that one way. Okay, not one way. I'll say round trip, returning on that date. Economy, children 1, infants 1, total 30 people. Search flights. Say searching. And there we are. So you see, we have a number of information. Okay. Interesting. But then one thing I want is for these details, okay, to be shown better. Okay, because you see this is not clear. Okay, it's not clear. So yeah, thank you for learning and watching with me. It has been an incredible journey. 31 days of learning FastAPI alone. Then right now we're into 25 days of building the project. We looked at the system design. We have built API endpoints. We have failed and debugged together. You've seen me failing. You've taught me. I've shared some information with you. We are now integrating the front end. We have done infrastructure as code. We've done DevOps, cloud, so many things. And yeah, I can tell you when we reach day 30, it will probably be like only part one. Okay. But yeah, we are on our way to tremendous success. So thank you for learning with me. Let's meet in the next stream. Tomorrow morning, we shall be back with learning Kubernetes. So see you soon and bye for now.